My outfit is by Ophelia of ABS Collection, Dansuman Zodiac. My hair by Roji One Studio. Roji is at Akuman Kokompe Eye Clinic. You can always go there and she'll give you an awesome style for your hair. I'm saying thank you to Riri Makeovers. Riri, thank you very much for my makeup. And of course, to Divas Trends, Juliet, thank you very much for my shoes. There are people we call jack of all trades. And in every life, you can find at least 20 to 30% of people who are just like that. They try out their hands on everything. Today, my guest will share with us the many things he has tried and how God shot him with one to a huge success. Please, let's welcome Prince Mackay. Prince, how are you?
I'm doing good by God's grace.
We bless God for your life.
Yeah.
We seem to always want to judge people. Yeah. Sometimes people see your success and they are not bothered to look at your history that has brought the success. Yeah. Where did you start off from?
Okay, well, that's a deep question, but I'll try. When I finished school, I did my first degree with the University of Cape Coast. So I went to the States to do my master's, and then I decided to come back. With my tourism background, I started, my first job actually when I came to Ghana was to manage a 3-star hotel. I stayed through for about 8 months, and I realized that was not the environment I wanted to work in. Because I like to move out, I can't be, stationed at a point. So I resigned after 8 months, and then I decided to move into something of my own. So that very week, I put up a proposal to run a TV show on my own, and that was what gave birth to Presenter's Guide. So I realized that, okay, great presenters on radio, but nobody's seen them actually. We know the names.
Especially on radio, you hear the names.
Exactly, but nobody's really seen them on television. So we came up with the idea to come up with a reality show that would highlight some of these personalities. So the likes of Abeku Santana, the likes of Delay, the likes of Wofake, the likes of Andy Dusty, all of them passed through the show. Mufti Dabri of a blessed memory. So that show, I remember when I sent the proposal to then One Touch. The marketing manager was not available. So the receptionist asked me to drop the proposal. It was very difficult for me to do
you
so.
Painfully dropped it.
Sometimes they would just dump it somewhere. So I argued with her for a while. And then she said, okay, trust me, I will deliver it to the marketing manager. I left to find some food to eat at Osu. Just as I got the food, I had a call. I picked the call, and then I was told the marketing manager wanted to see me. I went to One Touch, and then this man says, okay, we have several proposals, thousands of them, but this one is different. We want to do this show. If you're able to convince our board, that should be great. So there was a meeting organized for us to be able to meet the board. I met the board, and I was so young at the time.
You're still young.
So I met the board, and then I was able, by God's grace, to be able to convince them. And they said, this is a great something that they like to venture into. So we did a show, and it was a very short show on television. At that time, One Touch was paying TV3 6,000 Ghana cedis per episode. As I'm talking about how many years now?
See, that's a lot. It's a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Over 10 years.
Yeah, close to. And so it was a huge budget, but because they believed in the project, and they didn't know me, nobody knew me.
You didn't have connections.
I didn't have anybody, but I realized
just a receptionist.
Yes, God working out something. So in as much as the budget was so huge, they paid all the presenters who were supposed to be on the show and all of the likes of Delay. Nobody knew Delay. Nobody knew Black Rasta. Nobody knew Black Rasta. He was at Happy FM trying to do something of his own. Delay. The only person that I can say people knew a bit was
Andy Dusty.
Andy Dusty. Even Andy Dusty, because he was in Kumasi.
Yeah.
When he came to Accra, nobody knew him. And then, what do you call it? Abeku Santana was the one that I could say was a bit famous. Yeah. So we ran the show, and with a short period of time, it became the most watched event in the country. Everybody was watching Presenter's Guide. You know, I remember the minister. And
I even remember there was a little magazine that came out quarterly.
Exactly.
That will tell you which programs are airing on which station. I remember.
Exactly. And, you know, I had a call from the then Minister for Tourism and then Creative Arts. And she said, why are you guys worrying us like that? I can't sleep until I watch your show before I sleep. You know, so that was what gave birth to, our I don't know if I would call it exploits. So after Presenter's Guide, there was a bit of a tussle with TV3 as to who actually owned the right.
Had you registered it?
At the time, no.
Oh.
So because of those legal tussles, we had to hold on for a bit. But then I ventured into something else. You know, Pastor Nick Vujicic, the man without arms and legs.
Yeah.
So I remember that, a lot of people had the series in town. They were watching this man. He has no legs, he has no arms, but could do everything. And I said, I'll bring this man to Ghana. So when I approached them, nobody had actually brought them to the country, but they told me that lots of top men of God had tried to bring them in, but the man said it wasn't the time to come to Africa. But when they told him about me, he didn't know me. He had not seen me anywhere before. He said that yes, that's the one God wants to use me to come to Africa. So I flew his team, him and everybody came down to Ghana. At the time was Kufuor's regime. I hired Accra Stadium, Kumasi Stadium, and then the conference center. It was a massive shows we had.
Wow.
Those places. So I remember in Kumasi, when we did his interview on Hello FM and on Angel FM, the whole township was like turned upside down. Everybody wanted to see him. And so by the time the stadium was opened, within less than 30 and less than an hour, the whole place was packed. The whole stadium was packed. And we had a massive show. Came to Accra, had a massive show. So it was then I realized that, okay, I think God wants me to do something. Let me venture into events. And so after that, I developed a concept called the RTP Awards. So maybe I'll end
It's been a long walk.
Yes, a long
walk. You've also done music.
Yes. I did music. I actually came up with my first album before I even went to the university.
Wow.
And yes, I came up with
High Life?
No, gospel. I've always done gospel. So I was actually a gospel musician before I moved into, I remember this song, I'm not sure you remember, but Sold Out was an instant hit at the time. Yeah, so I have 3 albums to my credit.
Whoa, I didn't know that. You see, there are a lot of things you are getting to know about Prince Mackay.
Yeah.
I heard one of your songs and I really loved it. You're good at what you do.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about RTP Awards. What challenges do you face as an events company?
Yeah. Well, okay, deep. First of all, I would say with RTP, it's a core. I don't see RTP as an event or a rewarding platform. Else I would have folded and given up long ago. But I see it as a call because, my late father, who was working with customs, excise and preventive service, may his perfect soul rest in peace. He's one person who's always been encouraging me that do it for these people. You are killing yourself for them, but they don't really see it. But one day they'll come to see the value of it. So when I would finish the show and I'm sleeping in my room and crying and weeping and all of that, and even contemplating suicide.
Wait, pause. You have contemplated suicide?
Yes, I have
RTP.
Twice.
Twice?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, because you give it up all for the people, and people are celebrating, they are jubilating, making a lot of gigs about it. But nobody remembers the vessel that brought it. Nobody speaks well of even the vessel that brought it. And so it's kind of discouraging. If you're not strong, you would, I've been to a lot of sponsors and they'll go like, Prince, what have you done to these people? You seem to be working so hard to, encourage these people to do well better. And all of that, to do better, but I don't think the same of you. And I asked why. And they said, this person came here and you saw your proposal and tried to ask us not to do it. You understand? And they will go to the extent of mentioning some names of presenters that I come to them to say that.
And most of them are even nominees.
Yes, and some of them are even winners. They'll go to, let me say something here. And I'll say it.
Say it all.
I've had many of presenters that have been mentioned to me had gone to my sponsors to say that, bring us the budget, don't put it on RTP. And if you notice, every year, God makes a provision for RTP. Yeah. We always come with new sponsors every time. So when they see new sponsors, they'll go to them and say, instead of giving us the budget, instead of giving RTP that budget, give it to us, because we even give them the airtime anyway. You understand? But one time I went to One Touch. They've been,
Vodafone.
Special Eyes.
Okay, Special Eyes.
They've been with us since day one.
Yeah, Special Eyes, they're very loyal. Exactly. They're one of our sponsors.
Yeah, I know. And I went there, the manager told me that, Prince, a kakit will be in this year. And I said, why am I permitted to speak to you?
Yes, you can speak to you.
And I said,
how can't you?
And I said, why? I said, because some people were discouraging us not to do it. But one person came to defend you and told us why it's important to do it. And do you know the name they mentioned, the person who came to defend me, was you, Stacy. Yeah. Well, see, you remember, I've never done a show like to give audience to somebody to interview me. Never. You hardly even find me at events.
You get lost after RTP.
You don't see me anywhere.
Because for me, I think I still remember that day. This is what we have.
Yeah.
We all need to support it. So even if it's bad, you have to push it to get better.
Yeah, sure.
What can you put in to make it good? Sure. If you are saying it's bad, then
what can you add to it? Exactly.
What can you add?
Exactly.
So for me, in all honesty, I do not support people who try to run others down. You've done this thing for so long. So why would somebody want to run it down? Meanwhile, on that night, you get the same people who criticize wearing their best dresses. They will receive 2 tickets. We'll still call, Prince, I need 4 more.
Yeah.
And that one, if you don't give, you become a demon to the person.
Exactly, yeah.
So why don't we push each other? So where I have strength, let me put in some good word for Prince. Where Prince has strength, let him put in good word for me. That is the only way we can grow this industry. And that is what Nigerians do and do so well.
Yeah.
For them, they don't understand. It has to go. So everybody will hold hands and help build. So that PhD syndrome, Ghanaians, let's stop it.
Yes. Many people have told me that if I were to be a foreigner, I wouldn't go through the stress that I've gone through.
Oh, yeah. That I can agree with the person.
And Stacey, I remember one time Sefa Kine told me, he says, you know what, do you know why I don't joke with RTP? I don't joke with RTP because it's the only program that gives me audience with the president.
My hard work.
And give me the audience to the president to meet the president and dine with him anytime I win. And he told me one time how people try to ask him not to come. I mean, before the show, they were calling him, but when he got there, all the people who told him they were not going to come, or say if I stayed home, or say if I stay home, or say that didn't know say nipa bad.
Nipa bad. That's the word.
You see, so I mean, we live in a society with so much hypocrisy and all of that. Yes, I'm telling you. And you know, from day one that we started building this, we have been consistent. Remember, we did our first show at the banquet hall.
At the banquet hall.
It was a very beautiful show.
Very beautiful.
Then we came to the dome of the conference center when we had, Mr. Music Man, Kojentry headlining there. Yeah. That was a beautiful show.
Yes,
then
beautiful
some people,
setup.
Beautiful setup. And some people said, it's time to stop these people.
Oh.
Yes.
Are they God?
Yes. Do you know what happened in 2013 when RTP was actually masterminded? I have never, ever granted interview. Many people have asked me to talk about it. But I'm just going to open it up a little bit today.
No, open up a lot to me.
You know, it was actually masterminded by people who also thought that they were in the same industry. And so RTP was growing so fast and strong that would compete or all of right now. First everybody, all the presenters were talking about it. Now they have RTP, so they don't talk about ours anymore. And so let's stop him. When we started in the first year, in 2011, I know people who told me that almost say after 1 year, ubejai. Because untimi and sustain it. So we did the second year, they saw that massive show and they said, if we don't stop this guy, he will stop us. So it went on to the point that the next year, which was supposed to have been the icing on the cake, that was when we were bringing Mercy Johnson from Nigeria. We got the likes of Amachi Dede and all of that. Imagine Amachi Dede.
It doesn't come cheap.
Amachi Dede would not endorse a show for you if you have not paid him. But the day before the event, he was on one of the FM stations saying that he's not coming because we have not paid him. Somebody had paid him more than I offered him to discredit us.
Oh, so these things really happen?
Yes. Somebody had done that. You understand? And he had forgotten that he did endorsement for us and it was played all over the television networks.
Whoa.
My right-hand person, the person who was almost running out with me, it got to a point. Then, during that particular year, I heard a voice telling me, attend to mine and I'll attend to yours. Attend to mine and I'll attend to yours. And I was like, what should I attend to that you will attend to me? Then this concept came. So I approached Rainbow Radio and I said, I have this thing that I want us to be able to do to feed the people who do not have, the needy. And then feeding of the saint. So Dr. Mark, wonderful person, he agreed for us to do it. We did on that year. That was like, I don't remember the month, but that was in 2013.
I never knew you were the master brain.
Yes, I brought the concept.
Wow.
You know, and then we fed almost close to 5,000 people
around the Obra Sports area.
It was a program.
Cecilia Mafo.
Almost all the gospel artists came. It was a program that was supposed to be able to, it was supposed to have been an annual event. But you see, the devil is a liar. After that event, some people talk so much to him to be able to stop it and all, and then we stopped. But that year, That was a program that saved my program. Because when I attended to God's work, he also saved mine. The same person that was my right-hand man, that I allowed him to do all the work, because at the time all my mind was on the GD phone CMU with the Rainbow Radio. So I allowed this man to do everything for me on the RTP. Not knowing he had actually been paid to sabotage me.
Oh.
You know?
Devil within.
Yes, they were killing my show and killing me also at the same time. I remember he would come to me and say that, these people, I don't know why they want to spoil your show. They even want to bribe me. And
meanwhile, he's taking the money.
Yes. You know, it was so terrible. And the person behind it, you cannot understand why he would do that. But through it all, that year, that show was supposed to have died. In 2013, RTP, I'm saying it to the glory of God, RTP should have died completely. But that year, we had a show without a single hitch, technical hitch. Run through smoothly. Do you know that they used several people, the sound man, the lighting, they used almost everybody against me. And you know what? Uncle Ralph, I salute him today. He was one of the people that stood and said that he was not going to do live band for me. And when all my artists on that platform, on that year, were doing live band, they were live band artists. They used him, they said so many lies to him. After the show, he came to me and called me and said, Prince, these people used me. I realized after the show, all the things that they were saying around in the auditorium, then I realized that, oh, these people used me. But you know why? Your show is bigger than them. That's why they are doing that. I'm the one they used to credit, to destroy it. But I'm the one that will build it also for you. So the following year, this man did my show for me without taking any money.
Wow, God bless him. God bless him.
He called me one time and said, Prince, they are planning to kill you. They will invite you to come to their office to patch up. Don't go, they'll poison you. That was a Sunday. I had a call on Monday to come to a particular office on Wednesday. We want to apologize for all the things that happened. So you come and let's have a chat and let's dine and then we'll let it go. That Wednesday, I didn't go. I was supposed to have been there by 12 o'clock. I didn't go. Around 11 o'clock, they started calling me. They called me. I never picked up the call. Till I picked up at 1 o'clock and said, I'm not coming. So you see, this brand RTP is the same thing that has brought honor to a lot of people, and the same thing that has brought me a lot of pain.
So mostly after each event, this year would make it the 7th?
7th, yeah.
After each event, when you listen to the same presenters that you are trying to give honest to, sit back on radio, sit back on TV, and say all the things they say about you, how do you feel?
Yeah, over the years, I've learned something. I've studied a trend. This is what happens. If presenter A wins this year, you are his best friend. If the following year he doesn't win, you are his worst enemy. He'll go and bastardize you and say all sorts of things against you.
Forgetting he won last year.
Yes, because he wants to keep winning every year. Do you know what is happening right now? This is what it's become a standard where even the media owners look at to do their poaching, look at to see the serious presenters at their station, and look at to be able to bless certain people. So they see it as, even with media bias, there's a platform that they look at to be able to what? Buy spots on people's shows.
Yeah.
All the stations, so all of them will go with my nominations and say we are nominees for this RTP Awards. They are the same people who come and sit on air. When they go and use my nomination to get their, what they call it, their money for their station, then they'll come and say all sorts of things against me. I've seen people who won RTP Award.
Who sat on their shows with their plaques.
As for that, they do every year. I've known people who won RTP Awards. They were nowhere. Nobody thought of them. In 2012, I'll cite the example of Captain Smart. When his name was mentioned as the best morning show host on radio, everybody was like, oh, why no? Oh. I remember it was only Sefakai who woke up. He was competing with him. But he woke up and started clapping. Captain Smart. It was RTP that brought him to Accra from Kumasi. And today he's big. He personally told me that I got a car after winning RTP Awards. Because Penyimumbi Toka Sewati Asantimenim to have it. I know people that won, people gave them houses.
Sure after multimedia also grabbed him.
Yes.
And brought him to Accra.
And brought him to Accra. I know people who were given houses after winning RTP Awards. As for visa testimonies, they're baby.
Well, all those Prince, ones. Prince, they don't remember you.
They'll go like, Prince, me, I've been bounced visa several times, so nomination alone earned me my visa. You see, it's so painful when they get all these gains on this platform, including the stations. And then the vessel that brought it, they want to kill it. The source of your blessing. But you see, like I told you from the beginning of this interview, RTP is not a job. It's a calling.
Because from everything you've said, this is your ministry.
Yes.
RTP is your church.
Yes. And RTP can die. It will only die when the Lord wants it to die. Even when I'm gone, it will be there. Because we have built credibility over the years. Me farmer fu any RTP Awards. You know, I'm talking deep. Me farmer fu into RTP Awards.
Now, I just want to go back a few minutes back. You said on 2 occasions you almost committed suicide.
Yeah.
Can you take us into those 2 instances?
Yeah. In 2012. Okay, in 2011, when we started the show, after the show, I had an approach from a PA to one of the top event organizers who we had invited to come and present the award. He didn't come, we sent the PA to come. So after the program, the PA said, oh, I'd like to have a meeting with you. We met and she said, my boss wants me to negotiate for us to buy RTP Awards. Indeed, my sister, I was broke at the time. That particular year, I had spent my personal money, 80,000 in 2011.
It's a lot of money.
What they buy Nesika, Nesika. I had spent 80,000 personal money. Nobody gave me 1 Ghana cedi when I started RTP. Everything from beginning to the end of that first year was borne by me. And so she came with the offer for them to buy it. They were willing to buy it for 50,000. And I was willing to sell it, even though it wouldn't even make up to how much I had put in the first year. But in the course of when we met the 3rd time, she made a statement like, I think God allowed her to make that statement. She was like, Mimi cry me boss cry or to you for waiting me that one me no be So I realized that they needed to buy it and shelve it and kill it. So after that time, I told her I wasn't ready to sell it. So from that day, not ready to sell it became an avenue for us to kill it. And so in 2012, it was an amazing show we did. You were there at the
Dome.
At the dome of the conference center. That seats about 6,000 at a time. Even when we said that we were going to the dome, everybody said, "Why are you going to the dome?
It's too huge.
It's too huge for a new show, a second show in the second year." But we filled the dome by the grace of God. Had the likes of all the top artists that you can think of, the Stone Boys, Music Man, Kojentri, No Tribe, Efia, and all of those people went on board. That year was a beautiful show. The place was packed and everything. Do you know what happened to me? The person who I put in charge to handle my money, the tickets and everything, ran away with my money.
What?
Left to America.
Oh.
When I said we should have an account that day, Adiasa, let's have the accounts the following day. The following day, that day was a Saturday, so the following day was supposed to have been a Sunday. So Sunday I was tired. Monday I called and I was told that he left to America.
Is that how to go to America?
So everything, he's taken it away. It was a beautiful show. Everybody knew that, I'm going to break it through. But I went home hungry. For 3 months. I don't know how I survived. That was tough for me, but that was the time a lot of things came into my mind to end it all and go. But you let me pause.
Don't cry. Don't cry, friends, don't cry. Please get me tissue, please. The heart of some men are evil. We all have evil hearts, but some people have dirty, evil hearts.
Thank you.
Are we good?
Yeah.
So in the quiet of your room, just you and the walls of your room, you contemplated to end it all.
Yeah.
And I think you had some really bad press after that event.
Yes.
Even though you had a good show, people said you owed people, you hadn't paid people.
Yeah. Stacy, let me tell you something. I am one of the few event organizers, because I've dealt with these logistic owners, and they'll tell you that, Prince, you are different. Open out here before show. You are the only one who pays us before the show will start. And even the big shows, the so-called big shows, I don't want to mention the names. It will take them 6 months, sometimes a year. Some of them who said they need them again before they will pay for the previous year for them to come and do the show for them. But even when I have paid, they will pay the press to discredit me.
Are your awards for sale?
I don't know who can. I have always said this, Stacy, and I'm saying it here on your platform again. If somebody remembers that I or any of our team members took money from them for an award that they got, the person should tell it to the whole world.
And tell us how much.
And I've told everybody that RTP is not for sale. We have never sold and will never sell. And until I can't say, me farm a food into RTP. So from day one, I knew the grounds which were treading. I was a dangerous ground. Somebody could even come and tempt you and then go and spoil you out there. So we have put up a system where it's not even possible for me. Every year, I don't know if you've ever studied, I'm always at backstage. That is when the results come. Until the results come and I'll stay there for them to take as it's on the sheet. I don't leave backstage. What happens is this. Because we do not know who is winning, on that score, we put all the names there. And then before the name is a box. Before each name is a box. So when a list comes and we are actually determining who won, we take, if it's Mr. B, we take Mr. B. So I always stay backstage to ensure that so that nobody will change anybody's fortune. So I stay there till that is done before I come out of backstage.
So what stopped you from committing suicide?
I was raised in Christ. So it wasn't possible for me to take my life. Even though
what were you going to use? The first one.
Stacey, there are a lot of things you use to commit suicide.
I just want to know. Some are quite dreadful.
Let me not say it before
now that most of the youth get these funny ideas. Yeah. So, I'm just kidding with you.
Yeah, it's true. I've considered it twice, but through it all, the Lord said.
With the second one, because you tried once, you realized you were born in Christ.
Yeah.
What sparked the second one?
The second one was when, you see, 2012, they took my money away. 2013, the person I put in charge as my right-hand man was bribed to kill the show. And it all happened back to back. So the heat was too much. The heat was too much. In 2013, you were in this country. Even people suggested that the awards be taken from me and given to other event houses. And the event houses that they were mentioning
were the same people
who were killing me. So you see, it was a scheme of event that had been planned and executed well. And they had planted some people after the show to go on some platforms to say that let's take it out from big events and give it to this company.
But can you take somebody's property and give it to another?
Yeah, other people said it's not possible because at the time I had registered it. I have the trademark for it. The same program that they wanted to take from me today, Stacey, I say this to the glory of God. If you remember, or if you've seen something that we have started doing right now, remember that you know RTP website was rtpawards.org and then .com. Now, from the beginning of this year, you remember that we've changed our website where we ask people to go for nominations. It was rtpawardsafrica.com and .org. 5 African countries are chasing us to have RTP Awards done in their country.
Wow.
In Botswana, the presidency wants to even sponsor it themselves. But you see...
So you see, if you had died, you'd have died a very foolish death.
Every time the love of your country. Because you see, I could go and do all of those things in those African countries, but your home is your home. It's like a black star player who is playing foreign or a Ghanaian footballer playing outside and is not called to his national team. Nobody will respect you. So we have actually fought. You know, in 2013 that they almost killed the show. In 2014, our strategy was to reclaim the brand, which by God's grace we did. Then in 2015, we made a statement and we rated the best organized event in the country. Then in 2016, last year. Now, 2017, this year is our 7th year. 7 means perfection. So everything is going to be perfected this year.
You have had a long walk.
Yeah.
You have had a long walk. So through it all, you sit, and what goes through your mind? Do you say, Lord, you have dealt well with me?
Yes, the Lord has been good to me. Yes, the Lord has been so good to me. Because this thing should have died long ago. The vision should have died long ago.
You should have given up long ago.
Yeah, let me say something here, Stacey. Maybe I cannot finish this interview without saying this. My twin sis, I'm a twin.
You're a twin? I never knew.
Yeah, I'm a twin.
Are you Penny or Kakra?
I'm Penny.
Wow.
But I have a twin sister in the States. She happens to be a hospital administrator for one of the biggest hospitals in America. She is one person that has kept this thing going. You know, we have very expensive trophies. Our trophies are done by the same company that does the Oscars trophies. So they are so expensive. It's the biggest of throughout our budget. The trophies cost more than any other item. And for 3 consistent years, she paid for the trophies.
Wow, God bless her.
Yes. 3 years. She paid without asking me for a dime.
Oh, God bless her.
Yeah. But you see, the same person will be, after the event, she'll go on the net and she'll be reading all sorts of things about me and all of that. But Mbunabe, even when I wanted to stop, she told me it will be well.
That's the kind of family you need around you.
Yeah.
Family that will push you beyond your limits.
Yeah. So, but I thank God because, you know, God has given me some, almost say me a stubborn. They say I'm stubborn, but God gave me that thick skin to be the way it is. Ghana's media is tough. And it's a media that can be able to bring down anything.
Anything.
But Stacey, in saying all of this also, let me not sound to be ungrateful to the media. It's just some few people who are out there trying to spoil what you have. But even media owners who would say to me that since you started this, you have never walked to us to say that, give us money for an award. So they give me all the support. In terms of making sure credibility. And you know, 3 months ago, I was appointed CEO for the Good Governance Awards.
Wow.
And that's the award scheme for the ministers of states and government appointees. How did I get it, Stacey?
RTP Awards.
I got it through RTP Awards. They searched my background, searched the credibility. They spoke to media owners and who told them that this guy is clean, you can do it. You understand? So,
and you were sitting there contemplating suicide.
yes.
Shame on you. Shame on you. We thank God for how far He has brought you.
Yeah.
And I really want to bless your sister wherever she is. What's her name?
Emma.
Emma. Wherever you are, God bless you for believing in your brother and pushing all that money into RTP Awards. This is just the beginning of what God is going to do with him. So whatever you have spent was not spent as waste or did not go in vain, but God is going to give it to you back in so many folds. You will be amazed by what God has done in your life. So Emma, thank you very much and God bless you. If we have family who would support what we do, who would push us, it would make us better. So Prince, I thank God for your life.
Thank you. Thank you.
People say the awards is for sale. You sell it. I have 3 of the awards. And this year...
How much did you give me?
Oh, even pure water. You know, there are times you're coming to the conference center and you're like dazed. You don't know what is going to happen. You don't know if you're going to win or not. You just get confused. Yeah. Seriously. So anytime I'm coming to RTP Awards, by the grace of God, every year I'm a nominee, I get very edgy.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. What is it going to be?
Do you know what happens?
What happens?
I've been told by most of the people, we have our times that some people will shy away, they run away. The reason is this. See, when people try to ask their friends, when have you had any hint who is winning this, who is winning that? Do you realize that nobody seems to know anything?
Yeah.
And it's not a kind of scheme that before the awards, people say speculations are going on. So we be winning.
You can never be too sure with RTP Awards.
Exactly.
And I think keep it up. It keeps us on the edge, which is very good. So when your name is called, you're like, whoa, so I really won this thing.
Yeah.
So keep it up.
Thank you.
Okay. Don't stop. Don't do what?
Stop. We won't stop.
Yes. You have to move forward and move across the world.
Yeah.
Don't let the mouth and tongue of people kill you. Amen. Because God is the one who has given you this calling. And now I'm going to call it a ministry, the RTP ministry. You cannot fail. Because when the end comes and we have to open your book, we're going to ask, what did you do?
Yes.
Because this is your talent. It's your ministry.
Yeah. You remember for 2 years, some people were sponsored against us. Do you remember?
Yeah.
There was a show, Television Awards, was sponsored against...
What happened to that one? It got lost. The grace is working for you. So before you go, we have something little for you.
Oh,
from Yaz Washing Powder. Yaz is an awesome partner of restoration. So we have something little for you. Did you know that Yaz has another branch of its companies? Yeah.
Really?
Yes. That is Hooch Corner and Choco Flakes.
Okay, Hooch. Yeah.
Yeah, we are into food now.
Wow.
Yeah, so Lexter Ghana is actually pushing Ghana across Africa and getting into the globe.
Wow,
Hooch Cornflakes is actually one of the best in the world. If our foreign brothers will not accept it, so let me say one of the best. I would have said it's the best. Let them go and hang themselves. It's the best.
Sure.
So please, this is for you.
Thank you very much, Stacey.
So thank you very much, and we wish you the very best for this year's event.
Thank you.
And I know God is going to do something incredibly amazing this year, because like you said, 7.
Yes.
That is 7. It's for perfection.
Yes.
And it will be perfect in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Wow. So you see, whatever you're going through is not news, because people have dealt with stranger, tougher, and difficult situations than yours. Just believe in God, hand it over to Him, and He will do it. Always do remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. We'll see you next week.
Welcome to the end of the tunnel. I see a bright light shining through, and it's just for you. There is hope for the time.